Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're doing something a little different. We're not breaking down data or stats, we're diving into a story. It's a really powerful chapter that shows how a single human connection can literally change everything.
So let me start with this question for you. When was the last time you really did something just for fun? This is the very question that sets our entire story in motion. It's asked of a young woman named Emily, whose life has just become this repeating cycle of duty. And honestly, she can't even remember the answer. It's a question that just kind of hangs in the air as we step into her world.
All right, let's set the scene. It's January 1917, and we're meeting 17-year-old Emily Auble. Now, the weight of the world is settled on her shoulders way too early, and it's making her feel so much older than she actually is.
You see, ever since her father passed away, Emily's life has just shrunk. It's a relentless routine. She had to leave school to support her mom, so her whole world is now just work, home, sleep, repeat. But then her friend Gladys shows up with an invitation that feels like it's from another universe. A high school dance, a night of friends and fun.
Emily's first reaction is, of course, to resist. No way, she thinks. I'm not a schoolgirl anymore. She feels like she just doesn't belong in that world. But her friend Gladys pushes back with this simple, incredibly powerful truth. It's a reminder of an identity that Emily has almost completely forgotten she has.
And here's the twist. To her total surprise, her own mother doesn't just agree with Gladys, she commands it. She can see her daughter just drowning in all this responsibility, and she knows, deep down, that what Emily needs more than anything is one single night to just be young again.
Okay, so let's jump to the night of the dance. Emily shows up in a handmade dress, and she already feels like a stranger in her own skin. And once she steps inside that gymnasium, that feeling of being an outsider, well, it only gets stronger.
Imagine it. The noise, the bright lights, all the happy chatter. For her, it's just a complete sensory assault. She sees the faces of her old classmates, and every laugh, every shared story just highlights the life she feels like she's lost. If you had to boil it down to one word, it would be total alienation.
What's going on in her head is just this painful list of everything she's missing out on. And the polite dances and small talk she has with a few boys, that only makes it worse. They're talking about school, about futures that are just completely out of reach for her. And it just keeps reinforcing this feeling that her reality is a world away from theirs. So just as she's about to retreat into the shadows, just completely give up on the whole night, her friend Bertha steps in. She pulls Emily across the room and introduces her to a young man she actually recognizes from her job at the department store, Lyle Carringer.
Now, I want you to really notice his opening line here. He doesn't start with some boring small talk about the dance or the music. No, he starts with a genuine compliment about how good she is at her job, something he's clearly noticed from a distance. Right away, he shows her that he sees her, not just as some girl at a dance, but as a capable young woman.
So he asks her to dance, but he immediately picks up on her hesitation. And instead of pushing, he offers an alternative on the spot. They could just talk. It seems like such a small gesture, but it shows this incredible kindness and emotional awareness. He puts her comfort first, and in that one moment, he sets himself apart from every other guy in the room.
So they do decide to dance. But the real connection, the real magic, happens in their conversation. It moves so quickly past the superficial stuff, and they find they have this shared feeling of, social awkwardness.
Then, when Lyle brings up the really painful topic of her father's recent death, you can imagine Emily just tensing up. She's expecting that same pitying look she gets from everybody else, but Lyle's tone is completely different. It's just genuine sympathy, totally free of judgment. He doesn't see a victim. He just sees a person who's been through something incredibly difficult.
And this, right here, is the turning point of the entire story. It's a total game changer. When Emily explains why she had to drop out of school, Lyle doesn't see it as some tragedy. He completely reframes her entire experience. What she saw as just a sad necessity, he sees as an act of profound bravery and character. He actually calls it admirable.
I mean, on the surface, their situations couldn't be more different, right? He's a 25-year-old accountant. She is a 17-year-old shopgirl. But they connect on what truly matters. They both feel older than their years, they're both burdened with adult responsibilities, and they even find common ground in their love for books and their city.
And Lyle's insight just goes even deeper. He praises her for how she handles difficult customers at work, recognizing her kindness and her empathy.
These are qualities she uses every single day, but they've been totally invisible to everyone else. He doesn't just admire what she's done, he sees who she is.
So the dance finally ends, and as Emily is driven home, the full weight of that conversation really starts to sink in. The crucial thing here is what she takes away from this night. It isn't just the memory of a nice evening. Oh no, it's so much more than that.
For the first time since her entire world fell apart, Emily feels three things: seen, valued, and respected. Lyle didn't just talk to her, he gave her this incredibly powerful form of validation. He looked right past the tired shop girl and the family tragedy, and he recognized her strength, her intelligence, and her kindness. In his eyes, she was worthy of respect. This story is just such a powerful testament to genuine human connection. Lyle's empathy and his respect, they acted like a mirror, allowing Emily to finally see her own strength and worth again. And it leaves us with this question to think about in our own lives. How can a single moment of being truly seen by another person completely reignite the hope inside of us?